All right, we're back. We're drinking tonight. What are we drinking?
Drinking Fat Tug
Fat
IPA.
Tug IPA. The not Persephone.
Not the person.
Not Persephone tonight.
Cheers.
Guess we'll find out who's the better pourer.
Horror.
Who's poorer than the other?
Probably, I think I have a little bit more head, but mine's closer to the rim.
You tend to like the head. Okay, so we're back. Last time we discussed the NHL playoffs as they were about to kick off.
Oh, that's good.
I guess I should taste that. What are we doing? What are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about the draft lottery and also upcoming draft. We'll also discuss how the NHL playoffs are going right now
Yep.
and how our picks went, our brackets,
Yeah.
and how
I don't really want to
how
talk
messed up
about
they are.
those.
Yeah.
Should we dive into the draft first?
Yes. All right, so we'll start off with top 3 picks, I guess. Even though it's not really much of a surprise who's going where.
Well, the lottery, if anybody doesn't know, Toronto won, Winnipeg won the second one, Columbus won the third, which means that Edmonton moves to 4, and the Canucks move to 5. We are based in Vancouver.
Yeah.
That is depressing.
Yes. But
we-
grand scheme of things, top 5 pick. We'll get a good player.
that's one of the higher picks we've had in a
It's the
very
highest
long
pick
time
we've had
since
since
the
the
Sedins.
Sedins. Yeah, exactly. Since the Sedins.
So that'll
Yeah,
work.
well, Vertanen was 6, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or- was Vertanen 6?
Yeah,
What was
so.
Bo? Bo was
What was 9?
9. Schneider from Bo.
So yeah, on the same topic, Toronto, I would have to think they're gonna go Austin Matthews,
I think it's gotta
Cirque
be.
Lyon.
Yeah. Laine's worked his way into that conversation. I think it's more a 1 and 2 race.
Yes.
Puyari, I think, is stuck in that 3 hole.
Yeah.
Whereas before, maybe it was which Finn's going to go ahead of the
There's
other.
still a big gap between 3 and 4, obviously.
Definitely, yeah. Top 3 are leaps and bounds above the rest.
Yeah.
So the way we see it, Toronto's going to take Matthews, as you said. Winnipeg probably takes Laine, and then the Blue Jackets are going to take
Yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah, for sure. I'll take Jesse. Well, who's Columbus's GM? He's a Finnish guy,
Oh.
right? Kekalainen,
Something like
that.
it. Something like it.
Yeah, so he's
Yeah, he's gonna have it in there with whichever Finn he
Yeah.
decides to take. Yarmo something.
Yeah, most likely something that ends with an O. And sounds like slang, maybe.
So
Where it gets interesting, though.
yeah, the draft starts after those 3. As you mentioned, the draft
Yeah.
really starts after those 3.
Yeah.
The Oilers are up at 4, and they don't need another forward.
No.
But it's sort of a given that the top 6 players in this draft are forwards,
Yeah, definitely.
which goes the 3 we mentioned. Probably Kachuk, I feel, is number 4, and then I think Dubois and Nylander are tied at the 5-6 place.
Yeah. Well, at the end of Central Scouting, they had Dubois as the number 1 North American ranked skater. But obviously, everyone knows how good Kachuk's doing on the Knights, playing on a stacked line. But he's putting up points.
Yeah.
He's doing good. Yeah, I don't know. The Oil, they're in a funny situation. I feel like it would probably be best for them to take one of the top 3 demon in the draft, which is, if you don't know, is Joe Levy, Sergachev,
Chychrun.
and the infamous
Chychrun.
Chychrun, who has dropped quite a bit in Central Scout rankings.
I feel that that's because everybody's been critiquing his game.
For
this
sure.
year.
He's been highly touted for
At
least a year.
At least, if not 2 years now. Like
Yeah.
last year, people thought he'd be the top demon in this draft.
They thought he'd be number 2 pick.
Yeah. So I feel like this year, everybody's been trying to find out what's wrong with him. Like, what are his holes? We knew he was good. What are his holes? Whereas with Ulevi, with Sergachev, with Jake Bean, those other defensemen that have sort of jumped up in that conversation, we've been like, oh, these guys are good. We already knew about Chychrun. Now we're like, okay, well, where's he bad? And that's, I think, moved him down in the rankings. I think he's still probably the best defenseman in this draft.
Yeah. It depends. It will be interesting though to see what they'll do. Do they pick another forward? Do they pick?
What do you think the Oilers do?
The sandpaper. You know what? I'm gonna say they trade down to Arizona. I feel like Arizona could use another wing in Kachuk, or even Dubois, who can play center and
But
wing.
how does that trade work?
I feel maybe.
Zona's got a couple picks in the draft.
Yeah,
right?
Zona's got a pretty good draft pool. I feel like they can maybe afford a. I don't know, to be honest. Maybe a demon who they got.
The Stone.
Yeah, exactly.
If they give him a guy like Stone,
Yeah.
and maybe the Stone in the 7th, something like that. Because I think the 4 to 7, I think, is another big jump.
Yeah.
Because I think 4,
yeah.
you get your choice of the rest of the draft.
Yeah.
Those top 3 will be gone. At 4, you get your choice of who's left, which is Kachuk, Nylander, Dubois, or a defenseman. The Oilers know they'll have a defenseman or 2 waiting for them at 7. So yeah, I think you're right. If Zona and Oil can pull off a deal, then I think it's sort of a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
I see if the Oilers make a selection at 4th, it's 4 forward.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way they take a defenseman at 4, even though that's what they need. I think they have to.
Yeah, it depends how highly they think of these defensemen, I guess.
But nobody's really taking a defenseman that high this
No.
draft. So like they know they can trade down and still get one of those guys.
And I've heard multiple GMs say there's really no number 1 defenseman in the draft.
Yeah, so it's
very subjective.
yeah, exactly. So the Canucks at 5 is where maybe you start taking a defenseman.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
I hate to say because we should take the best player available, and I feel that's one of those
Oh,
forwards.
I think they will, and I think with Jim Benning, he's such a stud at drafting. I think he can find that defensive talent in the 33rd pick, which we have.
If we're jumping to the 33rd, I want Tyler Benson.
Tyler Benson, eh?
Vancouver
Even
Giant.
if we take a forward,
Last year Benson was supposed to be one of the top 3 picks.
but he was hurt, right?
Injuries all year. He's just been falling.
Mhm.
I think that's a good risk to take at 33.
Assuming we take a defenseman at our position right now.
I think no matter what, we'll be making trades on deadline day. I could see us grabbing a late round first. If not
Yeah, I hope
a
so.
second round, something like that.
I'd like
I
that.
think Benson at 33 is a good risk to take.
There's a chance he could go in the late rounds, though. You never know.
I think him being I think he's projected 3rd round.
Really?
Yeah, like late 2nd, early 3rd round.
Oh, dude, I thought he'd be late first or.
No, he's
Early second,
fallen
dropped
a
a lot, eh?
lot this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
we're on the-
I'd be fine with Benson for sure.
I'm gonna go off a little bit here. The Giants, well, I don't know what day it is, May 2nd. They're moving to Langley.
Really?
Yeah,
Langley Giants?
the Langley Giants. I don't know if they're gonna be the Langley Giants or the Vancouver Giants, but they're moving. From what I've heard, they're doing a press. They're gonna do it. No, they're gonna do a press conference. They have one scheduled for tomorrow at the Langley Event Center, and everybody says that they're moving to Langley.
I don't know if I like that.
How's that make you feel?
Well, it's not Vancouver, so how can they be Vancouver Giants?
No, I don't know if they're like going to become the Langley Giants. I feel like the Abbotsford Heat, blah blah blah. The Burbs, the Superburbs of Vancouver. For those of you who don't know,
Yeah.
the Giants are moving probably for next season to Langley, which is Tyler Benson plays currently for the Vancouver Giants. Next year he could be a Langley Giant.
Tyroning, yeah.
So that's interesting,
That is
for
interesting.
Vancouver hockey.
Okay. Yeah, the 33rd pick will be interesting though for Vancouver. I personally like a defenseman at that spot.
But what if we take a defenseman at 5? Or if we trade
then you
that?
pick a forward for sure. But at second, I really like for second round pick, I like Lucas Johansson, Ryan Johansson's brother. Plays for Kelowna Rockets.
The Rockets.
Defensive.
He's a defenseman.
He's a defenseman. And they're-
Kelowna Rockets have pumped up some
and-
good
yeah,
defensemen
exactly.
in the
So
past.
that's my point. And
couple of
he's
years.
played wicked. And if not, by any chance, Dante Fabro from the
Isn't he a mid round? Mid first?
BCHL. He's
Oh,
mid-
which could make him drop?
He's mid first, late first, but he's got a high ceiling. He
Yeah.
might be one worth taking a chance on.
Well, and this is the thing, we've discussed this. we can speculate on this pick and speculate on that pick, and as Canuck fans, I think that no matter who we take, we're gonna trust that pick. Like if
Definitely.
Benning chooses this guy, I'm gonna be like, well, okay.
Definitely.
It's like the Wings. Whenever the Wings come up, whoever they pick,
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay,
Exactly.
that's a steal. I don't know who he is, but that's a steal that
Yeah.
the Wings took. Like that's the
Yeah.
way it works.
Definitely.
And I think Benning's in that same situation. Like he's a scout. He's
Great.
never at home because he's on the road. So I really trust. I just hate his GM abilities, his trading.
Yeah.
So I really hope that during this draft, I hope he trades down. I hope he acquires this and that and gets the players he wants and he knows who he wants, so he can pick that guy up at 12.
Yeah.
Because he knows that he
Totally.
should go 6, but he knows he's gonna fall to 12. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna be able to get somebody for us that he knows is good, that isn't ranked as high on other people's radar.
Oh, yeah. A lot of us here at Vancouver too. Yeah, we're thinking like Jake Bean or something. A lot of the words have flown around. He has things highly of him. And obviously he's a Calgary hitman. He gets to see a lot of games. I wouldn't be surprised. You've got teams like Arizona, Carolina, and Winnipeg with 2 first-round picks. Do we see the Vancouver Canucks trading our 5th overall to a team like Carolina, even who could really use the forward?
Well, that's the thing.
depth?
Carolina doesn't need deep.
No,
They've
I
got
know.
a stacked
They could
young
use
defensive
one of those
core
2
right now.
forwards for sure.
Definitely. They need a forward. And where are they sitting at?
They're sitting
13?
Where do we got them?
13.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
exactly. We got
at
them
13, I think that's probably
That's where it
you
starts
can
to go
grab
thin
a
a
good
little bit.
yeah, it goes thin. This draft has been talked of a really high end in
Yeah.
those top sort of 10,
Yeah.
and then it just drops right off.
hmm Definitely.
Carolina, they lost Eric. Is he coming back? Like, can we jump to Eric for a minute?
Yeah, for sure.
So he got traded at the deadline, obviously.
Yeah.
Contract's expiring. Blah 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 blah.
He seemed like a good fit at the time.
Carolina wanted to get something back. Yeah, and the Rangers, I think they're just too old. They've wasted Lundqvist. Lundqvist is one of the best goalies the NHL's ever seen, and he's just
Yeah.
never had the fullest team ahead of him. But Eric Stahl, I feel he's got 3 destinations next year. And that's re-signing New York to play with Mark, going back to Carolina, because that's his home, Jordan's there,
Yeah.
or he goes home. And he joins the Maple Leafs.
Ah, perhaps.
Who's there? Do you see the team they iced this year?
Yeah.
When Yager played them, Yager had more games played than the entire roster put
Yeah, I know.
together.
It was
Like
pretty
that's a
weak.
young team.
Yeah,
There's a
that's-
reason they won the lottery
that's
and
how
they
you
had the
tank.
best chances.
Yeah,
Like,
that's definitely
they
how you
tanked
tank.
it well.
Yeah.
So like if he comes in and plays a first line center or even a first line winger, because he's more of just the sniper from the wing type guy. I see him in
is.
that right side
He's
doing
a
his
big guy
thing.
too. Yeah. Doesn't go
So-
for the net.
They've got Marner, they've got Matthews,
Yeah, and they've got Kadri, and they've got
Kadri,
who's no
Bozak
slouch,
is their
Bozak,
other
yeah.
guy, and then they got
They're-
Willy Nilly, Shishkinov. Like they've got a Shoshkinov.
Yes,
They've got a
Shoshkinov.
really good young team. And obviously, they'll add a couple more pieces. It's thunder. I saw lightning behind me. It's fucking stormy here at the sports bar.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Toronto looks really good. I wouldn't be
but
surprised.
I feel like Toronto doesn't have a piece like that because they're not going to win. And Eric Stahl's at the
No.
point in his career where he needs to win. So I feel like that's a good New York stay for him.
Yeah.
Whether
Like you
he's-
said, New York is kind of they're almost on like the
They're
declining.
trailing down.
They're trending down.
But the thing with the East is Boston's also trending down.
They are,
And
but
they
they're
missed the
kind of
playoffs.
doing the rebuild on the fly as well.
Exactly, which I think New York's got to try to do
Yeah.
because they're just getting old.
Yeah, exactly. And they have pieces, and they have, getting rid of Duclair was obviously a big one.
That
And if
hurt
they
them.
can keep Yandel, like that'd be good. But I feel like Yandel will probably go
I think
somewhere else.
Boyle's gone.
Oh, he's probably gonna retire. I think.
You hear him after Brooksy?
No.
He had his basically the last day of the Rangers season. They had like exit interviews, whatever you want to call them, and he went off on Brooksy just like Torts did way back when. He's like he told him he doesn't care about him, he hates him. He's like nobody respects you. He's like, at least I'm gonna leave this team with the respect of my teammates. Nobody respects you. He's like I want him out. And he's tried to get Brooksy
Brooksy,
kicked out of the and Brooksy's sitting there like, no, I'm not gonna leave.
Yeah.
And maybe I obviously I'm not there, so I don't know them, but I hate
Oh.
Brooksy just because it seems like everybody hates Brooksy.
Yeah.
But
and
he's
Torts
been
he's gotta be a
He's been going after Boyle all year, apparently, for defensive mishaps and this and that. So it seems like Boyle's done in New York. New York's always been a strange team to me. I hate them because they beat us in '94.
I feel like a lot of players would love to play in New York. I feel like
Everybody
it's a
wants to
great
play
destination.
Every elder statesman goes to New York.
Yeah.
Bobby Holik, Wayne Gretzky, Pavel Bure, Eric Stahl. Like, everybody
Yager,
just
Yager.
sort of Yager went to New
Yeah.
York. Exactly. Everybody, you gotta play a year in the Big Apple at least.
Yeah.
Um,
Great place to live, great place. Great team to play for.
by the way, New York's first round pick in the NFL draft, Eli Apple.
Yeah, great name.
Is there a better name for an NFL
Is he big, though?
football franchise?
Is he
You
big?
get Eli
Yeah.
because already the Giants have Eli and Apple.
Yeah,
Great fucking pick for them,
Yeah.
just based on names. Eli Apple.
fair enough.
But back to hockey
Back to
here.
hockey. All right, we'll jump to our late picks. So we also have Calgary, who had another.
We didn't
off-
say who. If the Oilers are staying, who are they picking? If the Oilers stay at 4, because
me-
4 and 5, we don't know who's
For
going.
me,
Yeah.
personally, I have them picking Joe Levy from the London Knights. I think
Yeah.
he's
Well, that's
a good
what they do.
D-man. The London Knights, they produce NHLers. They have a great organization. They treat their players well.
Patrick Kane,
Patrick Kane,
London.
Cole Horvat,
Nazem
Corey
Kadri,
Perry. You
Harry
get great.
Corey.
You get great players out of there.
Can't score in the
I
playoffs.
feel like they'll go with Joe Levy. They'll take, even though their pick is high, they know that they have to start drafting right instead of they're
Yeah.
going for forwards.
Magnus Pyarvi Svensson.
Yeah. If not, they may trade down, like we said, to in Arizona, or
So you're trade down or you left.
yeah.
Personally, I think it's Kachuk or trade down. Because Ulevy's not the 4th overall guy. So I think either they take Kachuk
He's not. He's
and they
definitely
trade
not.
an Eberle, they trade a Nuge, they trade part of that losing
Yak.
core. I think I don't think Yak really fits in. I think they'll trade him, but I don't think he fits into like a big piece like an Eberle or a Nuge.
You know what I
does,
heard?
just
I heard
'cause-
like a yak to the Islanders for Hamonic. Because it's publicly known that Hamonic wants
Hamnick
out.
wants Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary. He
Yeah.
wants Western Canada.
Yeah.
One of those 2 teams.
I'm sure the Islanders would love to have a yak.
Yeah, for sure.
Get another scoring.
Especially if
wing.
they're using Okposo
And
this
if
year.
Apostle's getting out too, exactly.
Johnny T and
Yeah.
and
That-
Nail?
That could be deadly. But if they can score Hamnick, I feel like because they probably want an NHL ready defenseman, and
I guess that makes
that contradicts my point for them drafting Joe Levy. But I feel like he will.
They still need D.
Yeah, they still need D. Yeah. If it's coming now, if it's coming the next 3 or 4 years, they need.
And they've got Clefbaum, I think, can stay. Nurse, I think, can stay. Other than that, they
Gri-
need 4 more D.
Griffin, or
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Reinhardt.
and you said Nurse.
Yeah.
I
So
I
they've
feel
got maybe 3 D.
Nurse is
Griffin,
definitely
Reinhardt,
2 or
Nurse.
3 defensemen.
Clefbaum.
I think. Yeah. So we say Oil.
So Oil, you're thinking Levy, so filling their need or trading down.
Yeah.
I'm going more take the best player or trade
Yeah.
down. I think we both agree they probably should trade down if they can. Take the D they need, whatever pick that is, and
I see where
and
you're going
get
though with
another
Kachuk
piece.
because they definitely do need that sandpaper guy, the guy who goes in the corners, can win battles, but also has his
Yeah.
hands around the net. And you know they have studs. They have a ton of studs, but do they
a
have
full
that
year
guy
of
who's
McDavid
gonna?
will really tell us what the Oilers are about.
And they want to plan it right, so they're really like the whole team's moving into their prime when McDavid is coming into his
Which
prime.
somehow they fell into. But the problem I have with them is Taylor Hall, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Neil Yakupov, basically every player on that team. It's a young team. All they know is losing in the NHL. It's been like 5
Unfortunate.
years of being horrible.
Yeah.
They've never been in a race. So
Not just
that gets
not
a little
even
toxic in the
competitive,
exactly.
like,
Just
losing.
we're gonna lose.
Yeah.
We don't need to win because nobody expects us to win because they know we're bad. And I think that's just a horrible mindset to be in for guys that have been in a league for 5 years and
Totally.
only know to lose.
Definitely.
That's why I think if they trade down, they can move one of those guys, or even if they trade up somehow, which doesn't make sense because they need D, but trade Nuge, get a defenseman, trade Everly, get a defense, something like that, and get some of those guys that only know how to lose onto winning teams where then they'll feed off that energy in 5, get guys in that know how to win. You've got
Exactly.
McDavid who's been a perennial winner, and move forward with that. that's sort of with the earlies.
That's fair.
They're
Definitely.
it's
We
it's
both
a
agree that
crapshoot.
trading down would probably be a good idea. I mean, where they're at.
The thing I like though is that if the Oilers stay at 4 and they take a defenseman like they should, because that's what they need,
Yeah.
that leaves Canucks to take the best of those forwards.
Yes, exactly.
Which means Kachuk, who I personally think is the best, or Dubois, or Nylander, whoever we have, or whoever Jim has up there.
Yes.
Um,
I mean, when you look at the Canucks squad right now, our centers, we have quite a few centers, but do we have a number
Bo,
one center?
McCann, I don't think.
Granlund.
Yeah, none of them
Sutter.
are number ones.
So, exactly. None
Hank
of
will
them are
stay number
ones.
one probably until he retires.
Yeah.
Unless we had won this draft. Matthews probably would have taken over. And Hank's
There are
last year.
fans who feel
Bo, I think-
Bo is steadily getting better and better, but does he have the ceiling to be a number one player? If you look at
I don't
if you
think
look
so.
at Patrice Bergeron in
I agree.
Boston, obviously he's an extreme comparison. But if you look, he's a two-way forward. He doesn't put up an insane amount of points. He puts up between 70 and 80 points. Plays a solid two-way game. If Bo can be anything near that, I think he can be.
We're happy.
He
super
can
happy
be a
with
1C for us, but I think Benning is hopefully looking to find that.
that. Yeah,
guy.
we still need a number one center.
Yeah. Where's it going up?
You know,
And that's why I
Steven Stamkos is
Yeah,
up there.
that's true.
He's
Yeah.
a UFA this year. Benning has said that he wants to sign a UFA,
Yeah.
which makes me think of Okposo or Lucic.
Or Eric. I think I was thinking
Louis?
of Poso or
Louis Eriksson.
Louis Eriksson. I think
I-
Lucic, because Lucic said how he really likes it on the Kings, and who knows what that means. Like, I'm sure you would say that with the team
Lucic?
you're on. Yeah. But I feel like him coming to Vancouver, in hindsight, in perspective, it seems like it makes sense. Like, he's born here, he played here. Killarney, right? And but I feel like he's gonna stay with the Kings. He suits their style of
No,
play.
he's a
He's
king.
the epitome of the Kings,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Just a big, heavy guy who could score. I feel the Canucks may go after Eriksson just because Swedish ties to the Sedins, give him a couple more
That'd be
good
cool,
years, and then Okposo too, who fit kind of a betting style player, big guy, can crash and bang,
Yeah.
also score goals. It'll be interesting to see what happens, and that really affects the draft too, right? Like depending who we.
Well, the thing is, when's the draft? Draft goes before free agency. Draft goes what?
Yeah,
Late June,
I
June
think
24,
so.
something like that, and then
Yeah.
July 1st we hit free agency.
I believe so.
So Stamkos is a huge domino that teams drafting don't know where he's gonna be.
No, exactly. Well, we can assume
He's
Toronto will not be
You don't think so?
pursuing him. I don't know. I'm asking
That's
you. Like I'm bringing up.
three. Well, that's Stamkos, Matthews, Marner, all at D or at center, right? Is
Yeah.
Marner's is center.
Yeah, Martin.
Nylander.
I don't know. Man.
Stammer. Everybody thought he's going home, going to Toronto. I think he wants to come to Canada. I really do. I
But-
think we have space.
Obviously, we don't know if
Gorgeous city.
we don't know if Toronto is picking Matthews. Perhaps they go Lane and then
They're
sign
going- they're going Matthews.
and then sign Stamkos.
You've been
So
trying
let's
to.
just think about that.
Seen Stamkos?
Can we? Yeah.
You've been trying to sell me on this, and
There
Matthews
are
is
at
going
least
first.
5 to 8 teams in the league who'd pick Lane first if they had the first overall pick. I believe that. I truly believe that. We haven't seen a heavy, powerful goal scorer like this since.
Ovi, Alexander. Yeah.
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 So I mean,
The only problem I have with that is those big guys don't pan out as often.
no.
It's a
I totally
Cassie.
agree.
It's a big.
I
It's
totally
a
agree.
big guys
Because
when
they're
you strike
overdeveloped
gold with
for
the
their
big guys,
age,
and
yeah.
you win. You get Rick Nash. You get Ovi. You get just
Yeah,
incredible
exactly.
skilled big dudes.
Yeah.
Line's ceiling is high because he has those ceilings, but with those big guys,
But his shot though, like he doesn't play because he doesn't really play.
Nichushkin
the power
was
game-
supposed to be Ovi.
I know, but he doesn't play like the power game. Like if you look at like some players, his shot is like
It's pretty good.
it's lights out.
It's high.
He's got a wicked shot. He's got a better shot than most NHLers, right?
It's a better shot than me.
Yeah. So
That speaks for itself.
I think he's good. I think a lot of teams would love to have him first overall. Matthews, obviously you want the 1C, but
He's going first. Center's too important.
Toronto will.
He
pick
goes
him.
first. They'll either pick him or
Yes,
trade it.
Yes.
Because taking that stud center is way more important.
What does it take though to get that pick?
That
from
number
Toronto?
one pick from Toronto?
Let's speculate about this.
It
So
de-
let's,
it depends
so let's
who's
talk.
taken.
Let's
Who's-
go right to
who wants
Arizona. He's an Arizona
Oh,
boy,
because
born and raised. Let's say Arizona. Even though they have prospect center at depth, they have Christian Dvorak. They got Ryan Strome. They've got some great prospects as we see.
Dylan
Dylan Strome. What did I say?
Ryan.
Ryan Strome.
Still a great player.
Great player though.
Still hands a Strome.
Yeah. Duclair, Domi, who
Dudes.
have already. Like,
Domes.
so, anyways,
Donor.
what would Arizona need to give to Toronto to get the first overall?
Definitely they're seventh.
They're
So
seventh.
Toronto's only moving down 6 spots, and they can pick a good D-man or a Dubois,
I
Chuck
agree.
Nylander if any of them's left. So the 7th is part of it. They've got
They're 20th.
the 20th.
Yes, I believe that has to go into.
I think so. If they go 7-20, that's already a decent package, but Toronto
And then-
can't lose a
I think
generational
Strome
player
has
for
to
two
be, I think
picks.
Strome has to be in there.
That'd be pretty gross.
They have to have a center. They have to have another center.
Coming back?
Yeah, definitely.
I wish I knew Zona's prospect pool a little bit more, but I think that 7, that 20, a Duclair gets it done.
Yeah.
7-20 Duclair.
720 and Duclair.
And maybe Toronto puts in their first and their second, their third.
Yeah.
So like that 31 or that 61.
It's hard to fathom. I'm sure they'll.
When was the
definitely
last
get
time we saw
phone calls.
the first overall trade? I don't even remember. Like it's that you don't trade that
You don't-
way.
Yeah, no. Especially in a year like this year,
Yeah.
like you really have to like get some.
But that's
attention.
why Zona this year might be ready to sell out for it, because they're a franchise that's barely holding on.
I know. And
I
having,
don't know
having a
how
hometown
they're
kid
still
like
there.
Matthews there, that just brings
That's
in
just brings in
everybody.
everybody.
That
Of course,
brings
that's such a
that
huge.
creates hockey fans.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's this kid who started to play hockey because of the Coyotes. Everyone's like, oh wow, how is this kid?
Yeah,
Let's go see
yeah.
him. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think Arizona will make a big push. Is it going to be like an OEL push though?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you do either.
OEL's
If Sweeney
he'll
had-
win a Norris.
Yeah.
Oliver Ekman Larson will win a Norris.
He's top 10 in the league, definitely for defenseman.
Chris Letang should win a Norris too. But fuck him.
Or Drew Doughty.
Fuck Doughty. Doughty's winning his Norris this year.
Yeah, I hope so.
Doughty,
Uh,
Carlson, Burnsy. Those are the 3 finalists.
Yeah. I mean, Carlson, it's like, I kind of like the legacy of Carlson, like just like, if he could just keep winning, I think that'd be insane.
Well, he's changed it. He changed it.
Yeah.
Obviously, every player's come through and changed it. Bobby Orr, Lidstrom changed it his own way. Carlson in this era has changed it. He's an 80-point defenseman in this era.
Unheard of. 20 goal scorer.
He's alright.
That's pretty good.
He's alright on a terrible team.
Alright, so let's get back on point.
I don't even think we picked a 4th or a 5th pick.
So
to
for
be
fourth,
honest.
we both agree that they will trade
They'll
down.
trade.
Dylan
Which
thinks
means
he's gonna
that,
get Kachuk.
So I think no matter what they trade, and I think Kachuk goes 4th.
Okay. Fair enough.
To,
Kachuk goes fourth
to whomever.
whomever.
The
I
Canucks
think
at
the
5.
Canucks pick either
Dubois?
defenseman. I think Dubois. I think he's great. He can play center and left wing. Played great for the Screaming Eagles. Cape Breton. Now that was it.
Wow, pulled it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Cape Breton screaming Eagles.
Yeah. And just jumped like a madman on the central scouting for the last half.
And I like Dubois on that team.
Dubois.
Just
Pierre Luc.
yeah. We need a PLD.
So I think the Canucks pick him, or if Drew Levy's still there, I think they pick him.
Yeah, at 5?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we're saying he's still there
And
because
then-
the other number 4 is Kachuk.
Yeah.
So you're saying
I
Levy
think-
goes at 5?
Yeah.
We need a defenseman.
Yeah.
As in, the Canucks need a defenseman.
We've got a couple in the pipe.
I still
mean,
think Chychrun or Sergachev. I think those two are. I think Chychrun should go first. Levy would be nice to have a Finn.
I feel Drew Levy's his IQ is well above Chychrun. Chychrun has he has the NHL ready body. He's got the NHL ready shot. But I feel just Levy, his ceiling, the way if you can develop him properly, I feel like he can be an OEL. He can be perhaps a Carlson or just like a top of the line power play specialist.
I almost feel that we don't need a defenseman. Even though
But we
that's
need- I
that
feel like
seems that seems to be like our biggest point is we need a defenseman. But with Triamkin, with all the sort of young guys, Jordan Subban even if
What does
he
anyone
can take a
scream
step,
number one C to you? Does anyone
exactly.
it's-
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We might need to take a forward at that 5th pick.
But does any of our prospects scream number one C? I'm not saying the ones available do.
Horvat doesn't.
No, number
Horvat's a
no.
two.
Sorry,
Number 1 C.
number one D.
Oh, number 1 D. No.
Exactly.
I don't think Ulevy, Chychrun, Sergachev. I don't think any of those guys are number 1 either.
They have a better chance than what we have right now.
I think Triamkin has a better chance, or
Really?
has a chance along par with them. A big guy like that has a shot, that seems to have IQ, that seems to have the athleticism. He's not just a big guy. Like, I remember when he made his debut this year, a lot of people were talking like, is this the most anticipated debut since Bury?
Yeah.
Like since we were having a shit season. There was no hope. There was nothing to look forward to, and then this 6'6", big Russian hulking defenseman
Yeah.
out of nowhere, like,
Yeah.
and he played good. He played smart. Obviously, first shift was like 12 seconds.
And he
He
got
jumped
better.
out, jumped off.
Yeah.
Um,
And he got better.
but he's only going to get better. I think he has a chance to be a top pairing at least defenseman.
Yeah.
And I think with a 5th overall pick, we need to take the best player available. And I think in this
I
draft,
agree
that's a
too.
forward.
Definitely best player available. It just, I think it's subjective if you think
Of course.
a forward is that much better than the best available D-man. It's tough.
We need a number 1 center. Horvat maxes at a 2. McCann maxes at a
question mark.
1, but he's nowhere near becoming a 1. He
Yeah.
could easily be a 3.
He could be a 3.
So we still need. I still think we just sign
Well, that's fine.
Stammer.
Yeah.
Where does he go? We talked, and I know I'm trying to bring it up again, but where does he go? Does he go to Toronto? Probably not.
I don't know. I have no idea.
They've got too many centers. Does he stay in Tampa? Did Tampa make it to the 3rd round? He comes back. They make a run. They win the cup. Does he stay in Tampa?
I mean, I feel like Tampa doesn't have a number 1 C without him. I don't think Tyler Johnson is a number 1 C. I think he's a solid 2.
Too little.
He's too small. I like the way Drouin has been playing. I like Cooch. Cooch is.
Do you like Duran?
Cooch is like. I don't like Drouin at all. I don't like the way he handled himself this season, but I do like the way he's been playing in the playoffs. He's definitely
Some grit.
put the team on his back.
Put the team on his back.
They still need that center, so if Stamkos still is elsewhere, they're needing that center.
Think they trade his rights?
I don't know.
Can they get anything to trade his rights? So Kachuk goes 4 to whomever. The Canucks take, we don't know, Ulevy? We probably can take a sponsor break.
I can come back.
A sponsor break. Leicester City won the EPL today. They clinched, which is unreal. 5,000 to 1 odds. They say that that's the same as an AHL team, a minor league hockey team, winning the Stanley Cup. Think about that for a second. A D-League basketball team, NBA team, a D-League winning it all. It makes no sense. A college football team winning the Super Bowl. Like that was unreal history. I read something that the big betting company in the UK is losing around 7.7 million euros off of this, which is an unreal amount of money. How's that?
It's an unreal amount of
It's
money.
it's a lot. They expect to win that back next year when everybody takes the Cinderella team, but it's not going to happen again. Like that's a once in a lifetime type thing.
It's an amazing story. I'll tell my kids about it.
I'll tell a child. That I'll have one, but I'll tell one.
Okay, so good. So we're
Calgary at 6.
Calgary at 6. This is a big one.
They take the forward. They take
I
four
feel
that's
Calgary, even if Dubois or Kachuk is up, I feel they take Kachuk all the way. Kachuk is
left. Kachuk will be gone.
their type of player. You think so?
I think Kachuk will be gone by 6.
Really?
Yeah. For sure. I think that the Oilers and the Canucks are both in a position to trade down if they want, and whoever's trading up is wanting Kachuk or somebody like
That's prime real estate 4 and 5 for those teams who think that there is a clear above either
Yeah, once we're
defenseman,
out of those.
defenseman or for a forward. Like if
But that's why I feel if somebody feel there's a clear defenseman, I feel they just trade down. Because I think the consensus is that
Would they
it's
risk that, though?
Matthews, Laine, Puyarvi, Kachuk,
out of that,
Dubois, Nylander,
yeah.
top 6.
yeah.
The only thing is that's why I think somebody will offer the Oilers something if they're scared that the Oilers might take him because they know the Oilers need a D. So I think
They
they'll
know the
trade
Canucks need a
up,
D
blah
too.
blah blah. I feel forwards will go top 5. But then Calgary's sitting at 6, which is where we're at, and I think Calgary wants a forward. So I think the top 6 will be forward, unless the Oilers or the Canucks are really high on a defenseman. So I think the Calgary takes whoever's left of Nylander, Kachuk, and Dubois.
Yeah, Nylander, I think that would. He's a wing who could, I think, complement the Monahan and
Johnny?
Johnny line. The only thing about that line, it's not big. It's not a big line.
No, but it
They can
reminds
score.
me of Taves and Kane. Monahan's Captain Serious.
That's true.
Johnny's little rapey
But
McGee.
Taves is Taves and Kane's Kane. I feel.
True, but Monahan's
It's a different-
Monahan and Johnny's Johnny.
Yeah.
He's Johnny Hockey. And
I
then
feel
we
like
got
you gotta have that.
Nylander on that
I
line.
know you gotta have that. I know. I feel like you gotta have that sandpaper though on that line. They're gonna get beat up.
The Blackhawks never really had that.
Well, was it Shaw? Or no, it was never. It's usually
They ended up
Taves
splitting,
Hossa.
exactly. They ended up splitting them up, which is what maybe the Flames have to do in order to win. But it's a good place to start.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I think they take a forward no matter what because they're just trying to take the best guy available.
Yeah, their defense looks really good right now. I definitely think they take a forward as well. Yeah, I would say either Kachuk or Nylander.
Dubois, is he gone?
Yeah, I
He's
think
gone
Dubois-
anywhere?
I think he's gone by now. He's the number 1 ranked North American skater by Central Scouting. I don't think he slides more than 1 or 2 spots. There is a chance he lands in Calgary, but I think either the Oil or Vancouver takes him.
So that brings us to 7,
Arizona.
which is Zona.
I think Zona takes a
Which
defenseman.
means if they haven't traded away,
They take a defenseman.
but
They
don't
take.
really. I think they need a forward. They've got OEL on D. They've got Domi Duclair on forward, but other than that, what do they really have going?
They got Dvorak and Strome coming up. Who are both.
I forget about Strom. Yeah.
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 Who are pretty stout.
So then they take
And we got Reeder, who's
Chychrun?
looking pretty good. I think they take Chychrun or Sergachev.
Sergachev.
Or even Bean. I mean, maybe not Bean because I
don't think Bean goes that high.
OEL is probably the puck moving defenseman, but if you look at, I think just play styles of defensemen. Yeah, I think a Chychrun would be suitable for that team.
Yeah.
A big guy can play the body, can shoot, but also jump up in the rush. Yeah, I feel like Chychrun goes to Arizona.
Zona. I agree.
Yeah.
Which puts us at Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah. Buffalo also pretty good with the forward prospects.
Yeah, so I think they'll
They've got
take
the one-
their.
they've got
I
the
think
1 and 2 C locked.
Sergachev.
Yeah. Maybe Bean again. I feel like Bean's just that dark horse. You never know.
There's going to be a
GMs
team that wants him. There's
Yeah.
going to be a team that has him above the rest. So maybe Arizona takes him. Maybe Buff takes him. Maybe whoever took you Levy, if it's the Oilers,
Totally.
takes him.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Sergachev to Buffalo as well.
Yeah. That sounds good. Montreal. Okay, for this pick, I'll start first. Montreal. I feel
The trade Subban.
Montreal is a playoff team. They didn't have their MVP playing this year. I feel they will be back at it next year, assuming Carey Price is healthy and he's happy and blah,
Healthy
blah,
and
blah.
happy.
Their forwards, meh. Probably I give them an overall C plus B rating.
They're trading for Yakupov this offseason now. They're going to rekindle that Yakupov, Galchi, Sarnia Sting magic.
I think Plekanec is in the number 1 C. I feel he's okay, but he's not there. I think they take a bite at Tyson Jost, who is out of the BCHL, who's actually going to play in North Dakota next season with Brock Besser. which is something for the Canucks to think about too.
We'll
Perhaps
watch it.
they want that, yeah. So, but I think they also need a number one center. Gouch has that ceiling. Who knows if he'll get there or not? And Jost, he has that ceiling as well. If he ends up being a 2, then perhaps Gouch slips up there. I think Montreal goes after Tyson Jost.
Yeah.
And not to mention, in his U18 tournament, when was it? How long ago? He beat McDavid's record.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had more points
Wow.
than him, yeah. Which is saying something.
That's a little crazy.
Yeah, he's...
I feel like at 9, Montreal takes another D-man.
Yeah,
Because Markov's almost gone.
he is.
They're left with PK, who's not a defensive defenseman. I think they sort of maybe take a defensive stalwart. I do think they maybe need some offensive talent, but not this year.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Patches, they've got Plex, they've got Desharnais, Galchi. They've got enough guys, I think, that they can move forward with for the next year or two and maybe make a run. Obviously, if they have Price for a full year, that changes that team completely. I think this year they take, again, I love the whole best player available, and I think at that point it'll be a forward.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Yeah.
I also do feel they might trade for Yakupov.
Yeah. Definitely. Inside the 10, even inside the 14, things could definitely be shuffled around.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's a draft, so it's all.
The top 3 is solidified. I feel like it's most likely not going, to be honest.
Yeah.
From 4 to 14, game on.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's basically our idea for how the draft's gonna go. Let's talk about how the playoffs
How the
are going right
playoffs
now.
are going?
So in the second round, we've got Sharks, Nashville, we've got St. Louis, Dallas.
That's a good one. We've got
Moving on.
Capitals, Penguins, and then we've got Islanders and the Lightning.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Where should we start?
I feel like maybe we'll start Pittsburgh, Washington.
Let's go to Washington.
I'm gonna
Well,
pause.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Washington. I think it's been the most exciting series so far. You have 2 just offensive dynamo teams, probably the 2 best players in the league. Still, you can't really say otherwise yet.
I'd say so.
Going head to head, just reckless abandonment, headshots, lots of snipes,
It's been.
suspensions.
There hasn't been any fights. And that's what I wanted of this
There
series
hasn't.
was,
But it's been chippy.
was some scrap.
It's been
Oh,
chippy.
it's been chippy. Orpik obviously suspended 3 games. Letang sit today on Johansson. I think he'll get 1 game for it. As a Caps fan, he should get 12. But I think he'll get 1. It wasn't as late as the Orpik. It wasn't as high as the Orpik. It's still a late and high hit.
Yeah, and it's in the playoffs.
So I think he'll get 1. The series is now 2-1 Pittsburgh. I think Washington still comes back. They fired 49 shots on net to Pittsburgh's 20-something today. They play that same way next game. I think Washington wins game 4. Gets home ice back. You go game 5 in Washington. I think they win that. I think Pittsburgh wins at home. Washington wins in 7. So,
Yeah, from what I saw today, I really like the way Washington was playing, and the 2 goals I saw from Pittsburgh, they were a little bit fluky. I mean, goals are goals, you work for them, but I feel if you're Washington, you definitely put it behind you.
If you're Washington,
you look
you're-
at those as a fluke.
you're happy with the game
You
you
keep
just
playing
played.
those games.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you put 50 shots on goal, you're playing a good game.
Yeah. So you think Washington comes out?
I think Washington does come out. I feel Pittsburgh's defense is just a little bit thin.
Yeah, it's an offensive D that's thin. Dumoulin looks out of place.
The thing about Pittsburgh is their secondary scoring is rolled. Like that.
That's
but that Bonino Hagelin line has been probably one of the best lines in the last week or so.
Capitals secondary scoring has been stumped so far.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. Oshie's been stepping up. Ovechkin's been Ovechkin. He's been playing his game.
Yeah. But Kuznetsov.
Kuznetsov's been a little quiet.
Richards needs to score. This is gonna sound weird, but Jay Beagle needs to score. Jay Beagle, he's the guy that's the last couple of playoffs. He chips in with that goal now and then. He hasn't chipped in with it yet.
Yeah.
Obviously, our D, Carlson needs to get a couple more points. Alsner would be nice. Orpik comes back in. Today was 1. Game 4 is 2. Game 5. Game 6, Orpik is back.
He'll be a game 6 for sure.
Talk to me about Tampa and the Islanders.
Tampa
Just your
Islanders.
thoughts on it.
Yeah, well, like I said, it hasn't been one of the series that I've been focusing on too much. Obviously Duran, he's been playing really well, which I don't like to admit because I don't like the guy at all.
He's a fucking beauty, though.
And then Kucherov's been Kucherov. Basically, the triplets on Tampa have been they've been showing up to play.
She runs a triplet now.
So they're quadruplets.
The quads.
Whatever.
What do you like Duran?
They've seemed like they've been fine without Strawman and Stamkos.
What's wrong with John Adane?
He's just, I don't know, he's not my type. He hasn't been nice to Stevie Y.
Stevie Y has been nice to him.
But it doesn't matter, Stevie Y trumps Duran.
Chumps Johnny?
Yeah.
They give him his time and he's doing this all year.
Don't not show up to an AHL game and blame it on your agent.
Play the guy.
He's not in that position. He's on his entry
fourth
level
overall
contract.
He's something great. You
He
know
is.
he's
I
good.
totally agree.
Play him.
I agree. He's great.
Play him.
But you don't.
They're playing Nemestikov more than they're playing Druin in the regular season.
know, but you
he
just-
gets hurt and
I
they send him
understand he's
back
in a
to
tough
the
situation,
AHL.
but in that situation, you just have to roll with it because in that you are on the shit end of the stick. You have to obey
Sure.
Steve Yzerman, Steven Stamkos. You have to fall in like the pecking order. It's
Pecking order should be him in the NHL, not in the AHL.
what you should. Yeah, well, he's got his chance now. This is his chance.
I hope he.
This is his chance, and
I
I
hope
agree.
he says he won't play for them next year, because they don't want him. Obviously,
You never
they don't
know.
want to respect him. I hope he says I'm done.
He's definitely
Trade me
proving
this
himself
offseason.
as a valid NHLer, which we all know he is.
As a top line NHL.
Perhaps.
Fucking beauty that kid is.
Yeah.
I hope he goes to Colorado. Reconnects with McKinnon.
Yeah. Moosehead days.
Yeah, and they just go ham.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I do think that Tampa will come out on top.
Really?
The Islanders I don't like as much. I feel like Tavares has been playing unreal, but you can't just Tavares. If you keep being Tavares, that's great, but I feel like the other team has to be the team as well.
I think that Tavares is going to win that series for the Islanders. I think next year,
he's
when we do our
deciding
fantasy,
factor?
if I'm picking top 3, I'm taking Tavares no matter what. I think that what he's shown in these playoffs is going to transfer into the exceptional status player that he was in junior, and he's hit his prime. This season was a little bit of a fall off for him. I was glad I traded him early. Thank you, John, for Getzlaff and Bernsey. I think Tavares finally takes off next year. I think he wins the Art Ross next year. I'll throw it out there. I think he wins the Art Ross next year because these playoffs are going to propel him like, holy fuck, I can be this good of a player.
He is
Tied that game with Florida. He tied it in the last minute, won it in overtime. He's leading, I think, the playoffs in points right now.
11 to Jamie Ben's 10.
Something like that. Like, he's real good.
Yeah.
I think Tampa beats. I think the Islanders beat Tampa. I think the Islanders lose to Pittsburgh or Washington, whoever comes out of there. But I think this really sets up Tavares.
They still got Grace in it?
Yeah, Grace has been going. I think Tavares sort of takes over the NHL after this.
He's definitely, I agree with you, he's definitely one of those dominant players, and he is a player that he doesn't need the teammates to make a difference. He can just be by himself.
You can play with
just-
us.
He can play with me. And so, I agree with you, but I feel like Tampa has a little bit more experience and a little bit more
They do.
offensive power. Victor Hedman keeps doing his thing.
Travis Hamonic.
Like we talked about, he's getting traded.
So you're going Tampa.
I'm going Tampa.
I'm taking the Islanders. What are you taking in the Pittsburgh Washington? 2 games done.
I said Caps.
3 games done.
I'm a
Penguins up
I'll go
2-1.
Caps.
We both think Caps will come back.
I'll go
Beautiful.
Caps, yeah.
So I'm going Caps Islanders final, which is a rematch of last year's first round. You're going Caps Tampa final. Camp. Which is just exciting because Stamkos probably comes back like game 5, scores like 8 goals, and they go to game 6. Western Conference.
Western Conference.
You want to start with my correct bracket or your correct bracket?
Let me go with yours.
Where's yours? Ah. The St. Louis Blues taking on the Dallas Stars. Unless Sagan comes back and goes off, St. Louis has the series in my mind. They're too full of a team.
Too full.
Whereas the Stars are too top loaded, and if they don't have part of that top losion, they're not going to get past St. Louis.
Yeah. They are more dynamic of a scoring team. Like they can score, I think, in more ways. But I think St. Louis beats them up. They're more heavy.
Yeah.
If I'm St. Louis, I'm looking at Jamie Benn. He's the bullseye.
Break his bones.
Every night, you run him into the boards. You hit him hard. He's the only guy that really the offense could come from. Maybe Jason Spezza, but still, he's getting older.
Yeah.
And without Sagan, I think you go after Ben. You look at their goaltending.
That's what we talked about last time.
shoddy.
Is they're both shoddy in the sense that we don't know who's starting, but now we know Elliott is starting, Letton's starting, and Elliott's a lot better than that.
Yes, it is for sure. This has been a long time coming for the Blues.
Oh, it's about time. The Hawks are out. The Kings are out.
This is one of those
They're
years
ready.
where like
It's time.
literally any team going right now can see the finish line. There's like I don't have to deal with. I don't have to deal with the Blackhawks.
This is a weird one. Blues haven't ever won a cup.
No.
Sharks have never won a cup.
Yeah.
Predators have never won a cup. Stars haven't won
exciting.
since '99.
Yeah.
Eastern Conference Penguins obviously won in 06,
Seven?
07.
Yeah.
Caps haven't won a cup. Islanders haven't won in a long ass time.
Yeah.
We're talking Bossy and Potvin and all those guys. And then Tampa hasn't won since
05, 04?
yeah, right before the lockout.
Yeah.
So these are like 8 teams that are like,
It's some fresh blood.
we've got a chance.
Yeah. I like it. And it's good. It's good motivation for them because exactly like in the past you've seen like these teams go on runs, then they just get stumped by the Kings,
team that's
the
exactly
Chicagos, even Boston when they were a little bit better back in the day. Yeah, I'm liking it. For me, St. Louis over Dallas. I think Dallas, they have the firepower. They got the style, and they can score many different ways. They're very dynamic, but Tarasenko back is really stepping it up. Laying the body hard. Heavy team in St. Louis. I think Dallas just can't handle it. I see St. Louis definitely going to the finals. Which leaves us
with that last series. That's your series.
yeah. So Nashville, which I predicted to be the Ducks, I did. And then the Sharks. However, I do believe the Sharks will come out on top.
I agree. Yeah.
The Sharks, they've got everything going. They got a great goaltender. They've got the great defenseman in Burns, who's really solidified himself this past season.
Oh yeah. They've got a all Canadian defenseman over there.
Yeah,
in,
and then Mark-Edward Vlasic.
Pickles.
Yeah, Pickles. There you go. And then Big Joe,
Evie.
Little Joe,
Edward Vlasic.
Little Joe.
They've got Joe's.
And
They've got
TMNH.
Oh, hit it this time.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
And
They've got Don
Scocher.
Joel Randall Ward.
Joel Randall Ward.
Fucking
Big
beauty.
playoff performer.
Great for the Caps. Game 7 winner against Boston. And then great for the Predators when he was there. And now he's with the Sharks against the Predators. I see no way that they lose this series.
I don't think so either. As good as Pecorine is, and as good as their Nashville defense is, I think they're too much.
I agree.
I think if a saber-toothed tiger went into the water, as when they were still alive and not extinct, I think a shark would still
Yeah, the shark could take it off.
take, you know. You enter their domain,
And that's what the Predators are doing. They're entering that Sharks domain, and they're
When
getting it.
did they go to the second round last time?
Us against us, 2011.
That's right.
Kessler.
Kessler. They met
Kessler
Kessler.
series. They met Ryan Kessler.
Yeah.
The Shark. So we've both got Blues at this point now updated. We've got Blues Sharks Western Final, which is a really cool one.
That's a good one. I really like that one. Both pretty heavy teams.
Heavy, skilled,
Nobody can put the puck in the net.
weird but good goaltending.
Yeah. It'll be fun to see.
I don't. That's a coin flip to me.
Yeah, it is a coin flip.
I'd coin
I
flip
think
it to the Blues.
It really depends which star players are on and which aren't at that time. And that will depend by the series before.
Yeah.
Does Tarasenko get that extra hit from Jamie Benn?
Senko's been going off though.
Yes.
He's got like 13, 14, and
Yeah.
like 20 playoff games.
Does
That's
Joe Thornton's
just
age catch up with him at this point? Does he get a little bit tired? Can he dish the puck as well? Does Jones's lack of playoff performance
I like
catch up
Elliott
with
more
him?
than Jones.
Sam. I do as well. The addition of Reimer, though, in case of that, is pretty good because Reimer is a very good
I
backup.
do like Reimer.
He's a very good backup.
I do like Reimer.
Yeah.
So we're both
It
going
could go
Blues,
either way. I would.
but we're both going Blues.
My original bracket, I had the Sharks, Caps, finals. I'm gonna stick with the Sharks.
So the Sharks beat the Blues.
I'm gonna stick with the Sharks. The Sharks are gonna beat the Blues.
I'm gonna stick with the Blues. I had the Blues getting to the West Finals against the Ducks. The Ducks didn't make it. So I'll go the Blues getting to the West Final now against the Sharks. And they're going to play... If we both have the Capitals making it to the third round, I assume we both have the Capitals making it to the final. So Sharks Caps, as he originally stated,
Yes.
so kudos. I'm now going Blues Caps. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah. It'll be good.
But I think if Pittsburgh beats the Capitals, then I think Pittsburgh wins the cup.
I know that series is very interesting because both of those teams are very
They're good.
Stanley Cup prepared. They
Yeah.
both have, I feel like, that destiny team.
I think East wins the cup this year. I think
I
West
like to see
beats
it.
each
I
other
like
up
to
too
see it go
much.
the other way.
Yeah, I guess in the last 6 years, only the Bruins.
Yeah, just the Bruins, exactly. 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the time for the East.
Kings and the Hawks can.
Kings,
Fuck
Hawks,
off,
Kings,
I'm going
Hawks,
to-
Hawks.
It's good though. It's good for the hockey. It's good to see the Lord Stanley move.
Well, that's the
around.
thing, yeah. The last for the 6 years, there's going to be a new winner finally.
I like it. It's good stuff.
Space Jam 2 is confirmed. You a fan of Space Jam?
Yeah. Oh, I love Space Jam. Definitely.
LeBron James
I
and Space Jam 2 is now confirmed.
I heard that as well. Yeah. And I heard they're still deciding on some cameos.
Russell better be in there. Westbrook's a beauty.
Curry.
Steph's gotta be. Steph's probably. Steph is a monster. That'll be good. No, I'm excited for that. That's gonna bring back some childhood memories for sure.
I hope they do it right. We gotta do it right.
That's the thing. I always hate sequels. They never do them right.
Especially the old ones when you're a kid. You're like, I shouldn't watch that.
Yeah. But I think they'll do Space Jam 2 well. LeBron's actually been acting in preparation for this. He was in that Trainwreck movie, which I didn't see.
I haven't seen LeBron act yet.
His first movie was called Trainwreck. So just imagine how that went. I don't know. I didn't see it. Might have been good. But that's exciting. Basketball playoffs. We're into the second. Yeah, all the first round series are done now.
Are we?
So we've got Raptors taking on the Heat. Raptors winning their first series since the 7-game first round series has been implemented in the NBA.
So the first game 7.
Yeah, first game 7 win. And I really think they can beat the Heat. Because I think Bosch is still out. Wade maybe can win by himself 1 or 2 games and Whiteside, whatever. But I think the Raptors have the team this year to take that series. I think you'd agree, right?
I watch basketball.
Along with that, I think the other Eastern Conference Cavaliers, LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, they're going to cruise into that third round. I think OKC is going to beat the Spurs because the Spurs are old. Kawhi Leonard's aight. They got Aldridge,
Leonard's
but
sick.
aight.
I know Kawhi Leonard.
I think that OKC gets past the Spurs in 6 or 7.
Russell?
Russell, he's the best.
What?
KD's. This might shock you to hear. If I can have a team of 5 Russell. If I can have a team of 5 Russell Westbrooks or a team of 5 Currys, I'm taking my team of Westbrooks over Curry's. Because Curry needs guys to screen, and Curry needs this, and he's gonna pop a shot, and Steph Curry with a shot boy. But Westbrook, I think, can do it all himself. So a team of 5 Westbrooks, but that doesn't matter.
He's triple double king.
He is the triple double king. He's the king of triple doubles.
Yeah.
I think
the categories.
Westbrook, Curry final, or West final. Curry will still move on. And I think the Cavs, and it'll be a rematch. Cavs Heat, blah blah blah. Cavs Heat. Cavs Warriors final. And I think the Warriors will win again.
I'd actually like to see LeBron win again. Just for Cleveland.
LeBron's turning into Kobe for me, where he can't play with anybody. He pushes everybody away. But I would like to see Cleveland win a Spurs trophy because they're the worst. Columbus, Cleveland.
They need something. The Browns.
They're just the Browns, the Blue Jackets, the Indians. They're just horrible. They're horrible at it. So that's NBA. NFL had their draft, so we're still waiting for football to kick off. Brady got his suspension upheld. Even though it took a full calendar year, he's now going to miss the 4 games next year.
So, he has suspended 4 games?
4 games?
4 games with his supermodel wife in his mansion.
So him and Giselle are going to kick it for a month.
It's just awful. The worst punishment.
Poor kid.
I'm sure he'll learn his lesson. Don't deflate balls when the camera's on you. I'll still pick him probably with the first round,
First round?
maybe.
Second round? Well, he was a steal this year.
Yeah, he was. Zeph was smart taking him.
Zeph Pages. Follow him. He's not even on social media, but follow him. Football's draft is interesting this year. Football fantasy is always the best of fantasies.
It's pretty fun. I definitely enjoyed it. It's a good time. Like the NHL is definitely more of a marathon because it feels like it's like all year.
It is
but
all
the
year.
NFL is just like an intense
The
sprint.
good thing about the NFL is it's head to head, and
head-to-head,
it's all Sunday, and there's 18.
It's all Sunday. You can
16
prepare for
weeks.
it during the week, which is great. It's not every day where it's just like blah blah blah.
There's something to be said about that short schedule, and the NHL should go to a short schedule. A what?
How many games? We're thinking like 68.
They're not going to move it all
No, I
because
know.
they're making money.
Ideally, though.
But go down, take a quarter of the season away. Go down to 60.
I think so too.
Because the playoffs are so good. The playoffs are so good because it matters. Playoff hockey and regular season hockey is almost 2 different sports. It's
different.
unreal the difference between the 2.
Styles switch dramatically.
Whereas like football, it's like you need to win every week. If you lose a couple weeks, you could miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
NHL, it's like, well,
It's a game.
we'll get them tomorrow.
Yeah. Talk about that, especially like baseball. Like, they
Baseball-
play twice a day.
But that's what makes baseball such a great fantasy sport. Get 162 games in the year, you just, all those numbers put in. But it's a problem with baseball is, again, too many games. It's like, well, this game doesn't really, it's not even a percent of the season. Hockey, at least one game is a full percent plus of the season. With baseball, you're like 0.5% of the season.
That's true. Yeah.
Fantasy sports.
It is a lot.
It is a lot.
How's your beer?
I was just gonna ask you the same. Fat Tug is for me, and this is the Fat Tug IPA. Obviously, it's an IPA. It embodies an IPA. You take a sip.
For those of you who don't know, IPA is Indian Pale Ale. It's from India.
When the British were colonizing India, there were pale ales already, and they had extra preservatives in them and blah blah blah. And they taste good. When the British decided to colonize India, They needed more preservatives in the beer to make it last longer, to have that taste, but that also made them stronger, made them deeper. So those beers that they sent to India were stronger, obviously, because they needed more preservatives, and those are now Indian pale ales, which the men,
I did not know that.
they love.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's great to know because they're delicious.
Delicious there. Yeah. Thank you, Fat Tug.
Straight out of Victoria, British Columbia, I believe. Driftwood Brewery, 7%. Yeah, Victoria, BC. Take a listen. Take a deep breath, sailor. It's difficult to fathom, but such monstrous hot bitterness can be foiled by ample malt buoyancy. This hot monster dwells in the deep. Its tendrils raised to a hoppy nirvana. How's that sound?
Sounds divine.
It does. Peep the bottle at least. It's a great bottle. And if you want an IPA, you're not used to stronger beers. It's your classic IPA. It's a little hoppy, a little bittery. It's got it all. It's alright.
Well, I feel like we covered all of our topics.
We covered most of the topics. Do we trade to the Canucks? Do the Canucks trade Miller this year? Is Markstrom not going to take over?
Markstrom will take over, and this year either Freitag or Demko will prove themselves as an elite backup.
An elite backup.
An elite backup.
Like
They
Corey.
will go ham in the AHL. Kick in the comments to the Calder Cup. That's my prediction.
Calder Cup for the comments, eh?
Yep. Utica.
You to come. I think we're about done. We're
Any other
about done
topics?
here. That was episode 2, possibly even episode 1, depending on how you look at it,
Yeah.
of the sports bar.
We started at 0.
We started at 0, so really, this might be episode 1.
That'd be correct. I definitely wouldn't be wrong to say that.
There's many more to come.
Maybe on a last note, expansion team in the NHL.
Wow, yeah, no, Vegas will get a team within the next 2 seasons.
Yeah?
Guaranteed. I don't think they're afraid to expand one team. Your eyebrow's not this big. Vegas will get a team.
Okay. Black Knights?
I think so. And they've already.
Aces?
If you're not following this at all, the NHL is looking at expanding to Vegas, Seattle, Quebec.
Quebec City, yeah.
Those are the 3 main teams. Vegas is ready. Vegas has done their ticket drive. Vegas is ready. They're waiting for the NHL to
Stadium, they
say,
have
"Here you
everything
go."
all set.
They've got everything ready. And within the last couple of weeks, they actually agreed on the terms for the expansion draft. Even though there's no expansion, it's still a fucking storm out here. Even though there's no expansion set, they've agreed on, holy tits. They've agreed on how the expansion draft's going to work, which means obviously expansion's coming. And I think that's Vegas. And if you don't agree, I think you're wrong. Thoughts on Vegas taking a team?
I will also agree with Vegas. I would love the city.
Seattle.
I would love to see it in Quebec.
Oh,
to be
see,
honest,
Quebec deserves it.
the Nordiques and just their history. Seattle, nah, I don't think so.
I think Seattle would be fun just because rivalry with us being in
It would be a
Vancouver.
huge rivalry. It's too close. Also,
But that's it,
Minnesota.
we can drive down to Seattle and get cheap games.
That's true. I like that, but meh.
But
You guys
meh.
can have our NFL team and our MLB team, Mariners, and but no, your guys' NHL team is going to be the Canucks. I think Quebec should get a team. I will not be mad if Vegas gets a team. I think it's going to be a party for all the players who go there.
Oh, the thing with if Vegas gets a team, the first year they get a team, I'm doing a trip to Vegas when the Canucks are there. I think Vegas makes their money off scheduling Vancouver to do both their away games in Vegas in the same weekend. So Vancouver goes there Saturday and Monday, and they play a game. Or Calgary, every team goes there and plays their 2 games there. The only problem with that is probably everybody's gonna plan their
Is that
trip
good for
to
the
be there,
players, though, to be there for 3 days?
because maybe not for the players against, but maybe Vegas wants that. But I think that for those games, Vegas will be basically playing an away game because all those teams'
That's
fans
true,
are
yeah.
gonna plan to
And
go
it's so
there
cheap,
for that.
right?
It's dirt cheap.
And even if you drive across the border, for Canadian teams, for Canadian fans, at least for us in Vancouver, drive across right to Bellingham, we take a cheap flight, which is less than what, like less than $200.
It's too cheap.
It's dirt cheap.
It's dirty and cheap.
Watch a game, yeah, and then we pay for $50, get a hot dog and a T-shirt and a jersey and a hat, and
It's better than the 400 we gotta play to see a game here.
so yeah. Vegas would definitely be ideal. I feel Quebec deserves it. Seattle, take a hike.
Nah, Seattle deserves the team. And then once Quebec gets their team, that'll make 8 Canadian NHL teams. I think they want an even 8,
That'd be nice.
which will be fun. And Quebec fans are crazy. I
Yeah.
can't believe that Quebec doesn't have a team right now. Except for the
There's
Canadiens.
actually quite a big difference in Montreal.
Quebec City
Quebec
needs a
City.
team. Yeah. No, Montreal's pretty. I don't want to say westernized because they're obviously not westernized, but they're Torontoized at least. You
Quebec
give
was more like France, like
Yeah,
French.
yeah.
They're more French Canadian.
Give
They're
Quebec-
the epitome of French Canadian.
yeah, give Quebec City a team, and that'll be a ton of fun. The sort of rivalries you could have with them and the Habs would be great.
Well,
Are we about done?
I think we're about done.
Seems like we're about done here. It's been a minute. Gotta go for what?
What are the chances you finish that beer?
I'll give you 1 and 3.
1 and 3.
1 and 3.
All right.
We'll go 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1,
go.
2.
1.
What chances you finish that beer?
1 and 3.
1 and 3.
3,
2,
1, 3.
1. I'll go again.
What are the chances you finish that beer?
1 and 3.
3, 2, 1, 2.
2. Oh, you son of a bitch.
Thanks
Us.
for
Watching?
watching.
You stuck it out till the end, thanks.
Stuck it out to the end, yeah. Cheers.
Something about that. That's enough for me.